Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Monday Night America here on the NDB Media Network. Thank you for joining me. Of course, I'm your host, Roger Noriega. Thank you for checking out the network, and don't forget, everything you want, everything you need, it's down there at the bottom, scrolling down there, ndbmedia.net. Today is January 27, 2025. What a glorious time, right, folks? This is episode 14, year 17. Unbelievable. We are now the longest running program on the internet, and we're terribly excited for it. So, Justin, thank you for joining. I know of that. If you'd want to go ahead and give your comments right now, Justin, please. I know of it, but I wasn't going to get into that one right now, but I probably should. I know that they are suing. I believe Justin is suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for some things that she said when they worked on set. So maybe we can look at it in a little bit and definitely check it out. I want to give a shout out to everyone else who's watching. Thank you, Elizabeth Olivia Cooper, for the like already. And I'm gonna have to look up the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively. But if you have any comments, by all means, please. And here it is, the lawsuit. So I understand now. This is as of 3 hours ago. Baldoni sued earlier this month, accusing Lively and her husband, Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds, of defamation and extortion, and seeking at least $400 million in damages. Wow. Now, as per the AP, and this article is on Entertainment Today, and this was updated at 3:47 p.m. I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat room for those of you that want to go ahead and follow along. And I'll go over it fairly quick. A New York judge set a March 2026 trial on Monday and moved an initial conference from mid-February to next week as a public feud between Blake Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni continued to grow and accelerate. And in a new and separate front in the series of legal battles surrounding the film that became a surprise hit last summer, Lively in a Texas court filed a request for a deposition of a man she says was central to turning online sentiment against her during its release and promotion. The New York federal judge, Louis J. Lyman, told both sides in an order late Monday to prepare for a March 9th, 2026 trial. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. He also moved an initial conference from mid-February to next week and told lawyers to be prepared to address complaints about pre-trial publicity and attorney conduct. Liam took the actions after Lively's lawyers claimed in a filing on Monday that an attorney for Baldoni was trying to taint potential jurors over lawsuits the actors have filed against each other. Wow, that is crazy. Now, as we know, Lively sued Baldoni and his production company and others in New York in late December for sexual harassment and attacks on her reputation and asked for unspecified damages. As I mentioned, Baldoni sued earlier this month in January, accusing Lively and her husband of defamation and extortion. It Ends With Us is an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling 2016 novel that begins as romance but takes a dark turn into domestic violence. It was released in August, exceeding box office expectations with a $50 million debut. The movie's release was shrouded by speculation over discord between Lively and Baldoni. Lively came to fame in 2005, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and bolstered her stardom on the TV series Gossip Girl and starred in the films including The Town and Shallows. Baldoni starred in the TV comedy Jane the Virgin, directed the 2019 film 5 Feet Apart, and wrote Man Enough, a book publishing back against traditions, notions of masculinity. Now, as I understand the case, what happened is that Blake Lively went ahead and basically said that it was a toxic and bad environment for her to work in. And she named Baldoni as number one. And this is why now they're suing each other. I understand that Ryan Reynolds, holding a unique position in Hollywood, has been going after Baldoni, obviously not publicly, but in the court of public opinion. And it's, more people listen to Ryan Reynolds than they would to the director of that movie, Mr. Baldoni. They contend that there's been a lot of public documents have been released, and it is really getting nasty between the two. The one problem in a case like this is that it is he said, she said, unless there are witnesses to the alleged behavior. If not, what are you going to do? You have to look at emails, you have to look at text messages. There has to be something other than just your word against mine. Now, there are some things that could happen on the side, like retribution, where she was up for roles and all of a sudden is being denied, or he was up for roles, not only roles, but directorial assignments and stuff like that. And if they end right away, you can start to piece a few things together. Now, a problem in the American justice system is that justice delayed is justice denied. And that is a serious problem. And it's set to start in March of 2026. That's crazy. That's a year and 4 months after it was filed. I know some people consider that very fast, but in some parts of the world, man, you're already serving your crime or you're already paying the fine, whatever it is. And I'm generalizing right there. So ask you to forgive me. I have a little bit of chocolate now. I'm doing my best to forego the coffee, and I am having pizza and hot chocolate right now. Go figure. I am a Ryan Reynolds fan. I have to say that. So I am tainted in my opinion on this, and I'm going to try to keep it as intellectually honest as I can. And I have been reading about this, but it's crazy. You shouldn't be talking about this in the court of public opinion. The lawyers said Brian Friedman, representing Baldoni, was, quote, engaging in this extrajudicial campaign outside of the court system to influence these proceedings and the public perception of legal filings to this court. And there already is a serious risk that this is misconduct. I'm sorry, that his misconduct is tainting the jury pool. They added, the endless stream of defamatory and extrajudicial media statements must end. Okay, you have to file that with the court, and they could silence people. So Friedman said in a statement in response to Monday's assertions that, quote, the irony is not lost on anyone that Miss Lively is so petrified of the truth that she has moved to gag it. We will always respect the court. However, we will never be bullied by those suggesting we cannot defend our clients with pure, unedited facts, the lawyer said. All we want is for people to see the actual text messages that directly contradict her allegations, video footage that clearly shows there was no sexual harassment, and all the other powerful evidence that directly contradicts any false allegations. In a letter to the judge on Thursday, Baldoni attorney Kevin Fritz accused Lively of a publicity campaign that left Baldoni and other defendants the objects of public scorn and contempt. He said the actions had damaged those she sued so that they were exiled from polite society and suffered damages totaling hundreds of millions of dollars due to Miss Lively's scorched earth media campaign. That's the stuff that I mentioned about that there's some implications that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are working the Hollywood scene to get advantage of it. In the separate filing in Hays County, Texas, a precursor to another potential lawsuit, Lively asks for an order for a deposition from Jed Wallace, a crisis management specialist she alleges was behind much of the social media manipulation surrounding the film that turned public sentiment against her through posts on Reddit and TikTok. Wallace and his Texas-based firm Street Relations were brought on as subcontractors by publicists working with Baldoni and his production company. He weaponized a digital army around the country, including in New York and Los Angeles, to create, seed, manipulate, and advance disparaging content that appeared to be authentic on social media platforms and internet chat forums. Wallace is identified in Lively's federal lawsuit, but he is not a defendant. Baldoni has always given me a bad taste, never cared for some of the things he has said and done in the past few years. I'm sure some of that will come to light. I myself have a cursory knowledge of him. I know the stuff he has done, and I've seen what he's been in. I've never seen an interview. I know very little about him. I know a little bit more about Blake Lively, but that's not a guy paying attention to a girl. I know more about Ryan Reynolds. Go figure. But I do appreciate that, Elizabeth. This is bad. This is really bad. And of the little that I know of Blake Lively, there's never been a contention. There's never been a problem. There's never been an issue from her regarding working with anyone else. I probably am mistaken. I don't know of anything that she's been involved in. And I just, I'm not going to say whether smoke is fire, but you've got to go by some level of credibility. Justin Baldoni isn't flashy like them, but he speaks very well in public interviews. I haven't seen any of that, Justin, and I'm going to have to look into it myself. And I think we are going to be following this moving forward. It's a shame that it has come down to this. Like I said, I am biased towards Ryan Reynolds, but I can see him defending his spouse. In many cases, I don't know if this is nationwide, but in California, for instance, if you're married, your spouse cannot testify against you. Do you guys remember that receiver or the tight end from the New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez, who did something? He may have eliminated someone, and the girlfriend was there, and they wanted to get married, and if they would get married, she could not testify against him. The court ruled that they could not get married. I believe Aaron Hernandez was found guilty. I think he was. And he went to jail, and of course he took his life. But I'm just saying that I don't believe Ryan Reynolds. Actually, that's to testify against. And I suppose he could be a witness, a material witness, but you have to consider it since they're married. There are rules on that. So I think it will be something that we're going to be watching moving forward. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are a power couple. Let's be real. And the sway that they have. I mean, look, Ryan Reynolds right now is in line, if you do believe the rumors, to be possibly buying a production company. I know he has one, but a much bigger production company. That has to do with something with THX 1138. Those are rumors. And if anyone has a little bit of sway, it's possible. The young man has done very well for himself. I'm not going to say that he has the Midas touch, but Ryan Reynolds, as of late, has been doing very well, and as Blake Lively. They have star power in Hollywood. And Justin, I appreciate you telling me about Justin Baldoni. I'm going to have to look at some of those interviews. You piqued my interest. And I have to tell you that we were going to get to some legal actions probably within 2 weeks. It was my intent to bring that entertainment news in, but I appreciate you brought it to the fore. What are your opinions? Okay. Elizabeth Baldoni has given me a bad taste. Never care for some of the things he has said. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, Ramey. Oh my God, Ryan on Mint Mobile, right? Yes, that one. That very same. Elizabeth, do you know what he was accused of by Blake Lively? Because in this article that I have right here, I don't have the actual accusations, but it was harassment on set. I know they didn't get along. I don't know if he made the proverbial pass at her or if it was just um, the way he treated her. I guess I would have to look at some of the stuff. Um, Variety, folks, if you really want to follow up on some stuff, um, Variety is a good place to look. Now, Variety has an article which I'm also going to post in the chat room right now. Oh, he should be able to buy a bigger production company. Well, Ramey, I was alluding to Lucasfilm. There are now, I've been paying attention to some of the stuff on the side. I've read some rumors about Lucasfilm. I have not picked up anything from Variety on that. I'm an avid reader of Variety. You really want to keep up on entertainment stuff, that's where it is. And that's why, just to know, I'm a tad behind. I hadn't checked out my Variety lately. But I am there right now, and this goes back to December. Justin filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times over the Blake Lively story. It relied on her self-serving narrative. Oh, okay. This might be a little bit more. And I want to give a shout out to Thomas. Thank you. I agree with Frank. This lawsuit will be very helpful for him financially. He's basically suing Hollywood royalty. Yeah, I think he is. On June 2nd, 2023, Blake Lively began a text exchange with her It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni that blamed her assistant for not getting her an updated batch of script pages. See, I'm familiar with this part. She didn't realize they were new, Lively wrote. New pages can always be sent to me as well, please. The actress signed the missive with an X, the universal symbol for a kiss. Lively followed up with another text shortly thereafter. I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. I get stuff from Dylan, and I'll keep looking to see what's up. Thank you, Raven. That's really cool. What a shock. Lively. Okay, I'm just pumping in my trailer. As you know, she was exercising. That's what she was doing. Baldoni responded, copy, eating with crew, and we'll head that way. 18 months later, that interaction was depicted in a New York Times bombshell report in a far more sinister light. The Times wrote, Baldoni repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding. Wow. That discrepancy is one of the many highlighted in a scathing $250 million lawsuit filed Tuesday afternoon by Baldoni against the Times in Los Angeles Superior Court. Baldoni is among a group of 10 plaintiffs that also includes publicists Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, who are suing the newspaper for libel and false light invasion of privacy over the December 21st article titled, We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood smear machine. The parties, which also includes It Ends With Us producers James Heath and Steve Sarowitz, claim that the Times relied on, quote, cherry-picked and altered communications and a quote within stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead. Oh boy. You guys may want to check your quotes there, Variety. I probably am reading it correct, but you guys might want to do a better job. But I'm certain that I'm wrong. A New York Times spokesperson responded, quote, "The role of an independent news organization is to follow the facts where they lead. Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. To date, Wayfarer Studios, Mr. Baldoni, the other subjects of the article, and their representatives have not pointed to a single error. We published our full statement in response to the allegations in the article as well. We plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit." Yeah, these papers need to watch out. CNN just lost paper trails. Or should I say text trails? Yes. You know, guys, as I mentioned, if you have proof, see, okay, I'm I'm not dumb. I understand how a lot of the stuff works in Hollywood. The minute you say something against someone else, you laying down the accusation, you're the one that's blocked. It's not unlike the workplace. It is really sad at times. And before I get to that, Elizabeth, let me finish the thought real quick. So, especially females, they don't want to get risk. They don't want to risk being labeled as a prima donna or someone you cannot work with. And it's really tough. So much stuff in Taylor Swift is in this on Blake's side, from Baldoni sexual slander to harassment by following her into a trailer uninvited. Look, okay. I find it very hard to believe that the guy was coming into the trailer regularly with Ryan Reynolds knowing who he is. I think this could have ended a long time ago. I cannot believe that Blake kept it to herself. Maybe she did, but she should have told Ryan. Ryan could have ended it, saying, "Hey, you know what, Justin? Need you to be a little cool. I know you don't see this, but I need you to pay attention to this." I don't know if any of that happened. It could have. It could have been done. Rami and I have talked about this years ago, that you settle stuff on the side, you don't take it public. Once you take it public, there's no bringing it back. And I've had discussions with other people, both with NDB Media and in the workplace right here at NDB Media headquarters, and amongst others, that look, I had it happen to me at work, and some people get angry at me. I was assaulted at work by a drunk employee. I didn't want to see that person's career destroyed. And by me making that decision, I paid for it. I learned from then not to remain quiet. And I've advised everyone as a shop steward in my union, oftentimes I would defend male coworkers. Well, I mean, it's a huge entity, and female coworkers. But the thing that I told them is you have to report it. You have to, you have to, you have to. Now, I understand 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, it was different. But I'm going on a segue. Nichelle Nichols. And when we interviewed Nichelle Nichols, I was going to ask her, because in her book, she alleged about the casting couch. And she said that she had a chance at MGM. It's in her book. In MGM, that she was up for a role. It would have changed her life. It would have put her on contract for like 3 years. She could have sent her son to private school, do a lot of stuff. And she implied where it was at MGM. She was very clear. And if you put the time frame, you could probably get an idea. But her story was that she did not give in. She did not do the casting couch requirement. And when she walked out, the secretary gave her the thumbs up. If you've not read it, you need to read the Beyond Uhura autobiography. I don't think I have it here at the moment. I think it's packed up. But I have the book and I read it. And I wanted to ask her because one of the two major producers that was on Star Trek, the executive in charge for Paramount, I forget the gentleman's name, but when you ended the series of Star Trek and he had the big old alien head, it was that guy. He ran production for Desilu. I said Paramount. He was over Mannix. He was over Mission Impossible. He was over everything. He was the executive. And he responded in his book with Bob Justman. Bob Justman and him wrote the book. And he commented about the Beyond Uhura event in MGM. And he was livid. He said, Nichelle, I was the head of that division when that happened. Nichelle, why didn't you come to me? You could have done so. When I read that in the book and we were going to interview Nichelle Nichols, I was going to ask her, I said, did you know that it is here? But I have to tell you, folks, the Nichelle Nichols, I'm sorry, but the interview that we had with her was one of the saddest of my life. She's gone now. I'm not going to demean her, but the episode stands. You can go back and listen to it. For 48 minutes, we could not get a question in. She told the stories that we've all heard at the conventions. Never had a chance to get a question in. It was very, very difficult. I was angry. I was disappointed. I swore never to ask to have the privilege of interviewing her again. She graciously gave her time to us. But we've already heard the same stories. And I was angry by the time that interview was coming to an end. I didn't ask her the question, but to this day, I wanted to ask her that question. Hey, you stated this in your book, which I've read, and the executive in charge of programming for Desilu challenged you on this. But the young lady has now passed. She's beyond the rim. And, you know, she had someone that she could have gone to and apparently did not. But okay. He was angry, and I wish I had the book. I don't think it's These Are the Voyages, but it was Bob Justman and the other oh my goodness. That's very possible. That is very possible. That's why I wanted to ask her. Both of them have now passed on. It's gone to history. It's very nice when A-list celebrities take time for us working folk, even if we don't like what they have to say. It is very nice. And look, I've been asked over the years, and I don't say it publicly, and this is the first time that I say it publicly. We had the privilege of listening to her. Oh no, this wasn't like 2011, guys. This is a long time ago. NTV Media has been on air for 17 years. This was a long time ago. This was before Star Trek Into Darkness. That's how long it's been. So go listen to the interview. So I was asked, what is the best interview that I've had? And I've given it. What is the worst one? And I said, that was the worst one. She treated us badly. And I never forgot that. And when I finally got a chance to ask her a question, I could hear an audible gasp from her. And I wanted to say on air, yeah, we had 200 questions to ask you. But you just went on and on telling us the same story that you've told in your book and in every convention. It was frustrating. It was utterly frustrating. And that's why I don't mention. But again, you only have my version, and I'm clearly stating that. So I do acknowledge that people stay quiet because they don't want to create waves. They don't want to cause problems. But folks, in today's world, as opposed to attacking them in public, why don't you use the levers that are in place? And that is what is really, really frustrating. She was all starting to have health issues at that post. Of course, she told what she was most comfortable with. I'm not sure if I get that. No. Oh, yeah, we get you. Okay, yeah. And look, folks, you're only getting my side of the story. And many people like her. She was great to them. They don't want to be on page 6 nowadays. No, they don't. Like I said, when I suffered that, it was horrible. And everyone knew it had happened. See, now actually, you know what? I don't want to go back down this road. It's not even that I suffered in silence. It's that I was accused of not being a team player. I lost my career because of it. I lost everything. So I understand why they can, want to stay silent. I get it. And, I still live with that happened. And this person got away with it because I didn't want to destroy his career. And by me actually taking that decision, mine got destroyed. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? No good deed goes unpunished. So I am emotionally invested in stuff like this. There are things that the people that suffer in silence, I'm not saying I did, but those that suffer in silence, there's things that they do, and you can see something. And if she has it, she's going to win. Their attorney said, or the New York, whatever it was, the Times said, hey, we printed their response, their statement, but they didn't deny anything. It sucks, guys. It sucks. And now you have the colored commentary that I gave you now about this. Um, it's something that I hope they're able to resolve. I hope the truth comes forward because that's what it comes down to. And it's really sad that this is in the court of public opinion. Uh, it's going to go bad. Look at what happened between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. My humble opinion, Amber Heard lost it when she did what she did in their bedroom. You guys all know what I'm talking about. When someone does that in the, I think she lost everything at that moment, and it's a shame. It's really a shame because both of them were not perfect. Oh yeah, yeah. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The proverbial taking a, you know, right there. It's like, whoa, that's an automatic. But I'm just looking at it from an entertainment perspective, looking at it that when that hits the news on what you did in the personal sanctum, wow. Yeah. I think that's when she actually lost the case in the court of public opinion. And yeah, it was horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Women do have it worse than men. They do. They do. And I get that. But I have been one in my workplace that I defended people. I remember one time I told you I was a buyer. I did a lot of stuff. And this is when we were still using day timers, diaries, and calendars and stuff. And we had a 250 person section, and I handled the purchases. It was easy. It was fun. It was a whole shebang that I would do. All the student workers and one or two other clerks would come over and help me when the shipment arrived. I mean, this is the at a glance diaries, folders, and stuff, and they would come over, and we would use a conference room. It would take us about 2-3 hours to get everything. What we would do is line one, whatever the item was, we gave it a tag. This is one or whatever, based on the order, whatever it was. And we would put them all in the conference room, from wall calendars to personal day minders to the red diaries, whatever, all that stuff. And then we got everyone's order. And then we started to get, okay, we need 1 of 3, 1 of 6, whatever. And it would take us about 2 to 3 hours. It was great. It was a big production. I know it was. And I did it. I was proud of it. So, yeah, dude. So, uh, I know what I'm doing. I'm proud of it. And we accounted for everything. And we would call the unit or the supervisor or the team saying, your order's ready. Come and get it. Well, one electrical supervisor, and I'll leave it at that, said, oh, well, why don't you just have our student worker bring the stuff over? Chain of custody. I'm like, well, okay. She took it over there, and he said, leave it right there on the conference room table. You realize how expensive those things are, how valuable those things are? It sat there for 4 hours. It didn't sit there for 4 hours. They were taken. And that stupid little punk went over and yelled at the student worker. I lost my collective mind. When she told me what had happened, I immediately went to our assistant section head and I told her, hey, Rick, this jerk over here, if there was an issue, why didn't he bring it to me? No, he went after the younger student worker, who also happens to be female. I was in charge of the calendar order, and now there's missing items, which I told him to come pick up the stuff, but he chose to leave it on a desk, and oh my God, the stuff's gone. And he went and yelled at the student worker. Why didn't he come over and settle it with me? And she's, well, no one should yell at anyone. No, but we've been here for a long time. If he has something to say, he can come over and say it to me. He did zero balls. Zero balls. But what did he do? He went and yelled at a younger student worker. Well, I knew who to go to. And then when I went to go see the student worker, she's, oh, yeah, she already came over, the assistant section head. I'm like, wow. And she went over and ripped Rick. Ripped him a new one. Respect, common sense. And that guy wouldn't talk to me till the day he retired. And I loudly said, yeah, well, when you yell at kids, you get what you deserve. That's the stupid stuff I had to deal with. But my thing is, hey, dude, if there was an issue with the order, why don't you come see me? Oh, no, because you have no balls. None. You went to yell at a younger individual. That's a coward. But hey, dude, I'm serious. Zero balls. I stood up for her because I was angry. It's like, dude, why are you going after her? Why'd you come after me? Oh, well, yeah, I know you have no balls. And the assistant section head. There are things that I hope I get to see when I pass, and I want to see that dressing down. Oh. But whatever. I didn't appreciate it, and I went to Senate because the young lady, she could defend herself. It just angered me as the coward that he was. Dude, why are you picking on the student worker? That's what angered me. And I went to defend her. She didn't need my assistance. No way. But anytime you get to take a shot at an engineer when they F up, oh, come on, baby. So, I have a history of standing up for people. I am a former shop steward. I've done it. So, that's what frustrates me in the world of Hollywood. When you have the mechanisms in place, they should be used internally. That's what they're there for. And if they're not going to be used, then that's when you have, or I should say, when you use the mechanisms and then you get the retaliation, because it's real easy to get the retaliation. You really think that they're going to retaliate against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? They're a Hollywood royalty. I know that means that other people would not be able to get away with it, or they would report it and they would lose their livelihood. It's tough, guys. It is. And I have a 33-year career that I would hear the rumors of stuff that I was involved in. And I'm like, no, actually, that's not right. That's actually pretty damn good. Story's a lot better than what really happened. But I would have to just remain silent because I wasn't exactly sworn to secrecy, but I never snitched about the things that happened. I'm sorry. I didn't reveal the stuff because the relationship that I had with management was hard won, hard earned. I had to prove that I knew what I was talking about. And, quite frankly, look, they don't know labor law. They don't. They're municipal employees. They have this belief that they know everything. I've hired and fired in the real world. I've had a job. I've been a store manager several occasions. I've hired and fired. I know exactly what it's like. I know I've had a job in the real world. They don't know labor law. Slap the crap out of them so many times. So many different departments. They think they know. Now, there are people that do, but those are far and in between. And when I go up against them, it's like, oh, mind them P's and Q's, baby. And the I's and T's. Got to make sure the I's are crossed and the T's are dotted. So it was easy enforcing rules. And I enjoyed doing that. They were not up to snuff. It's not that I was any good. It's just I actually hired and fired. I knew labor law. So it was fun. It was just it was sucky that I had to be in those situations. And oftentimes they were issues of personality and about I can't say that, but it was something where they they thought that they were the alpha dog and that they were right and that was it. Like the world doesn't work that way. And I enjoyed educating them. I can't wait when I finally leave and I'm fully retired. I already have the website. I own the website. Oh my God. I've already written probably 30 different accounts. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I Oh yeah. I'm naming names, baby. I am. There's no doubt about it. So I'm probably gonna have to say, in the interest of protecting the innocent, I'm gonna do this. But no, I'm gonna tell my story. I'm gonna tell exactly what happened. It needs to be told, and it's really, really disappointing. So I obviously didn't think that I would go on in all of this, and I apologize. But the issue with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is just absolutely horrible. How did it come to this? And if it happened a year, 2 years ago, how how stupid are these people? If it happened as they claim, that you're not even paying attention. It's like you see the cop right there at the side of the road and you pass him and you're lucky that he didn't pull you over. Dude, there's going to be another cop down the road. Why do you continue to speed? Is it human nature? Stupidity? What? Arrogance? I don't know. It is what it is. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. That, okay. I feel like even if he told her in private, the media might have made it public. If someone would have spoke, yes, Justin, yes, yeah, that's a problem. So we are where we are. Do you do it that way or do you do it the way it was done? I myself would not have done it in the newspaper like that. I would have probably have submitted it as an anonymous piece, but I would have done it as an anonymous one. But no matter what, both of these individuals put their names to these suits. And I just believe it's tragic that this is going on, especially in today's world. Who did it? Who didn't do it? What happened? What didn't happen? Are we ever going to know? Unless they both agree, we'll never really know. Unless there are text messages, emails, and stuff like that. We'll see. Folks, how many of you have a $20 bill in your pocket right now? What does $20 buy you today as opposed to what it would buy you 250 years ago in the colonial era? Did you know that we can loosely estimate that $20 today is the equivalent to about 100 shillings? Because the colonial economy used a mix of British currency, pounds, shillings, and pence, Spanish dollars, and various local forms. So you could say that in the 1730s, 20 shillings could buy 50 acres of land in Maryland or about 3 pounds of beef in England, New England. In 1777, the same amount would outfit a man in a full suit of broadcloth in Rhode Island. Now a movie ticket. Then a 12-course meal, club soda, and a Broadway show. In the 1870s, $20 could cover an entire month's rent on the Lower East Side in a tenement apartment. The $20 might sound like a great deal in comparison, but most laborers only earned about $50 a month. This is in 1870. $20 a month, meaning that 40% of their income often went to housing. That's actually not too far from today. In rural areas, $20 was also sufficient means to buy a milking cow, providing a steady supply of milk, cheese, and butter for a household. A decent selection of clothing was also within reach with $20 to your name. Newspaper advertisements from San Francisco touted formal wears such as silk suits for $12.50, heavy woolen coats known as ulsters for $5, and twill silk umbrellas for $1.50 each. Altogether, that was $19 worth of clothing. Today, $20 might only buy you a couple cups of coffee if you're living and working in the city. In rural areas, it might be a full week's worth of caffeine. Or if you're shopping for clothes on a budget, $20 could probably snag you a pair of jeans on sale or one movie ticket. In the 1920s, $20 would easily cover a stylish suit, coat, or dress for any occasion. It would give you a few appliances. An electric oven or countertop cost about $10. Innovation in the American home. The average U.S. income in the 1920s averaged between $3,000 and $5,000 a year into the decade. So to many, $10 here or there wasn't just pocket change. It represented a decent chunk of their monthly income, or just a few $100s. In the 20s, the popularity of cars exploded in the U.S., but $20 wasn't near enough to buy a popular Model T. That would run you a whopping $260. But it was actually reasonable. It gave everyone a chance to purchase a car. Think about it, folks. You earn $50,000 a year today. Can you buy a brand new car for $20,000? Maybe a Nissan Versa 5-speed? 20 divided by 50. That's 40%. $260 divided by 3,000. That's 8%. Isn't that crazy? $20 could fill a 10-gallon gas tank about 10 times over. Making a road trip, it would be easy. In the 1950s, household income was about $3,300. You could get a $7 for a meal that included a 16-pound turkey, potato stuffing, dinner rolls, cranberries, and pumpkin pie throughout the entirety of the 1950s. Isn't that crazy? And $20 would buy you 400 cans of Coca-Cola. Excessive, yeah. But by the end of the 1950s, the U.S. indeed loved its canned sodas, and since Coke was still priced at 5 cents a pop, just about anyone could enjoy one now and then. The cost of medical care was much lower in the 50s as well. $20 could cover up to 3 to 4 checkups with your doctor at about $5 or $6 a visit, or even a trip to the operating room for minor procedures. Folks, I told you what happened to Margarita. 32 days at Pomona Valley. $976,000 for 32 days. I used to drink Coke until I watched a video on boiled Coke. Yeah, well, I'm not having Coke anymore, and I myself have dumped coffee. I'm drinking chocolate, hot chocolate. I think I really am done with sodas. In the 1980s, the average concert ticket costs about $100. No, today. But in 1980, $20 could snag you 2 tickets to see some of the top acts of the day, including Peter Gabriel, Bob Seger, or the Grateful Dead. Oh yeah, Justin, it is. It's my 3rd cup today. It's been cold all day. For kids, brand new Transformer toys at the peak of their popularity in the 80s were typically priced at about $10. For a more deluxe figure, $20 was the norm. And while $20 doesn't go very far in the fast food realm today, in the 1980s, it bought a lot. A McDonald's value meal cost a mere $2.59, meaning $20 could feed a family of 7 or a family of 5 with money left over for ice cream. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely crazy? Well, I'm going to be having these tidbits part of the program today. We will be following the lively Balboni stars as we move forward, and we will have more entertainment news and current events as we move forward. But I, no matter what, do want to thank everyone that joined me today. See, Justin says, we don't get sun at my parents' house while I'm staying, so it's icy all over the driveway. Oh, oof, I hear you. I want to thank Rami for stopping in, Elizabeth as well, and everyone else that does comment after the fact. We appreciate everyone who's watching. We know several people are watching, but you don't leave comments. I get it, and I appreciate it. I know I wasn't at my best today, but I did have some other stuff. I'm going to talk about what did people do before eyeglasses. That's going to be next week. And 5 forms of U.S. currency that are no longer in use. Can you think of what they could be? We're going to talk about that next week. Also, next week, we're going to talk about 6 amazing breakthroughs made by the ancient Greeks. Later on in July, we're going to talk about 7 breakthroughs that we had from the lunar program. Trying to do it. Actually, it's kind of funny. Let me show you my screen, guys. As you guys know, I use OneNote, but look at how far planned I have certain episodes. I don't have every episode, but there's the 6 amazing breakthroughs, 7 maps that illustrate the history of the world, 6 shocking scientific beliefs from Victorian England, 5 strange traditions of the British monarchy. That's just a few items that we're going to be discussing moving forward. And 5 Watergate facts you probably didn't know. 5 of the strangest days in history. Oh, I like that because I think on May 18th, that's why I chose that one. Who wrote the Constitution? I got some information on that too. And what was the War of 1812? And 13 facts of the original colonies. That's just a few items. See, these are 3 items that we were going to talk about, but I'm going to carry them over to next week. But I'm adding more material as we go along. That's just letting you know what we have, some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about moving forward. Now, Rami, do you remember when we did the game show, BTR Feud, like Family Feud? I'm thinking of doing a version of Password, brother. I want to have guests and I want to have co-hosts. I think I have the details worked out. I want to do a Password version here on NDB Media. I think it would be a lot of fun. You would be one of our stars, Rami. So you would be you'll probably be holding your cell phone, and you'll have the word, and you'll have your guest, obviously not right there with you, but we're going to use StreamYard, and we're going to have everyone on. Yeah, dude, I want to do it. And we're going to have hosts, we're going to have guests, we're going to have people who want to play along, and we're going to do a version of Password. I'm trying to work out a version of Family Feud as well, and some other game shows. We're going to have fun, man. I want to do that moving forward. And I've been trying to get it going. I spent the last year, because you guys remember how Password worked, right? You get the 1-word clue, and then if you get it right, you'd have to get like 6 clues to figure out what the main topic was. That's what we're going to be doing. Password, super password, whatever. But that's just one thing that we're going to do. I think we're going to do a version of Tic-Tac-Toe on air as well. And there's some things. We had plans, like the Cylons said in Battlestar Galactica. But folks, I have gone over. I do want to thank everyone that joined. I do appreciate it. Don't forget, there's always a better day. But if you're thinking about that today, today was a good day. Hola, Presidente. Thank you, Mr. Gama. So, I appreciate it, Justin. I appreciate you asked a damn good question today. There was a lot in it, and we're going to keep an eye on that. But we're going to be doing current events, entertainment news. We're going to be doing some things in history. And this is what Monday Night America always was. And I'm hoping to really get back into that, but it takes a while to get back into all that stuff. But I'm humbled that you come over and spend time with me and everyone else that doesn't comment but is watching. Drop a line. Let me know where you are in the world. Sharing the misery. But I appreciate that, Justin, Roger, Frank, Elizabeth. This was so much fun. I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you, man. It is a lot of fun doing this. So don't forget, Fandom Access is on tomorrow. Travel Edge Radio is on Thursday. Sports Talk with the Guys is on Saturday. And as you know, I'm playing Risk in the mornings. They're pre-recorded. I've already recorded all the episodes for this week because people were like, dude, why aren't you responding? They're pre-recorded. And there's an episode on at 5 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. And I'm already recording even next week's episodes. This week I screwed up. I think it was on Wednesday where I said something about, and we'll see you on Friday. And then on Thursday's episode, I'm like, I think I got my dates wrong. It was a major faux pas. But it's all good. Check us out. If you have any topics you want to talk about, let me know. We are going to be going into archaeology and geology a little bit. The stuff, folks, that's going on in Göbekli Tepe. Oh, my God. Guys. Torque. I was wondering. Wrist, are you talking about? And you owe us an episode of Loveline. Dude. There was another host that had her program on. That is being dealt with internally. I couldn't go on while another program was on. That's the problem that we have with the network. So, go Chia Eagles. I'm butchering the pronunciation. But we got the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. But, hey, folks, again, this was a lot of fun, too. So maybe I'll be able to do another one, but I need to do NDB too. Oh my God, we had 179 channels or NDB extra. maybe. We had so many channels. Oh my God, Blog Talk Radio. We had Star Trek. We had Space 1999. We had the adult channel, which was NDB Media 69. Oh, my God. That was funny. Oh, my God. We had NDB Media 2. That was our sports channel. And, God, we had history. We had labor. We had tax. I had so many on Blog Talk Radio. It was funny. So when someone said, how many channels do you have? We have about, actually, I think it was 177. Just kidding. Way too many. Now we just do it all on the network. Folks, and again, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. So check out Fandom Access tomorrow, Travel Itch on Thursday, and Sports Talk with the Guys on Saturday. Don't forget, we will be following Andor. That program will debut on April 27th on a Sunday night. It may change depending on the guests that we have on. It might be earlier because we have international people that want to join the review program for Star Wars Andor. It starts the 22nd of April, but we will be reviewing it more likely on the 27th Sunday. Of course, we're also going to be reviewing A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, stuff like that. And we have a lot of stuff planned. I think we're going to be returning to Battlestar Galactica later this year as well. We're going to do the look back at Battlestar Galactica, which is crazy. I like the Silo one. It was good. Dude, you're more than welcome to join us. We already did the original and we did the TV show, the Galactica 1980s. We did one episode on that one, I think. And it was good. So now we're going to do the reimagining. And that's going to be later this year. Probably in either May or June we're going to start. But don't forget, head on over to ndbmedia.net. Check the calendar. We already have a stuff calendarized. And we'll see. Andor's already on there. Strange New Worlds, we're going to go over. Ahsoka when it returns. And other things. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. All right, guys. I do have to get going. And I thank you. Love you all. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Peace always. Or as it was said in Independence Day, peace!